Hey guys, it's RobJ here. Why not subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and click the bell icon to stay up to date. Without further ado, let's get into the video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look around my setup and having a look at my colonies and talking a little bit about the changes and how they're doing. I'm sorry for the long break between videos. I've been quite ill. Mainly a lot of allergies, but I also did have a cold and a quite bad chest. That meant that the voiceover part sounded really bad. So I preferred to just wait than put you through a really nasally bad audio. So let's move on to my first colony and get straight into why we're here. So my first colony, I think it's in the ANTKIT size 16. And they've been doing very well. I'm not going to remove the cover off them totally. It's because they have a really weird tendency to move into the tube if I disturb them. But there's plenty of action for us to see going on. So after receiving the new ANTKIT arena, I decided that I wanted to do something different with it. So what I did is I put sand inside, loose sand, to see if I couldn't get some natural behaviour out of the ants, and it worked really well. I must say, I really enjoyed watching them pick up the sand and moving it. They rearranged it and they did a lot of cool things, but the thing that I liked the most about what they did, well, if you look here now, they created a road. Now this road isn't actually that busy right now, but it does get calmed down and it does have peak times of traffic. But they carved out this perfectly clean, right to the floor of the arena, highway through the centre. Now this little small rock formation here is how I stopped the sand going down the hole in the floor, because that's how these arenas are designed. So I essentially put a piece of pipette in there to add extra height. It was higher than the sand layer, and then I covered it up with some decoration. Now we've moved over to their feeding habitat, which is just one of the old style tubs. And in here you can see this is where they do their junk, which is really easy to clean out. You can just wipe it out. This is also where they're fed, and as you can see, there's also a connection tube running around the back of the colony. Now this attaches back to the nest, so they can do a full cycle. I really like working out and watching how they like to get about doing their business. And it's a really interesting colony, and I'll keep you updated. Let's move down, because they occupy an entire shelf to themselves. Let's move on to the fire ants. Now the fire ants have been maintaining their same numbers. They haven't really increased. There has been some setbacks with these guys, but what I'm going to do is give them another size 3 nest soon and add it to the current nest that they've got. Also, I have a few plans with these guys because they're quite messy in their own Outworld. There's not particularly one place to dump the waste. They sort of put it anywhere. And the current Outworld has so many little nooks and crannies and little grooves that it's really hard to maintain and keep clean. So my plan is to take this Outworld off them and give them a more flat, easier to clean Outworld. And if that doesn't work in future, I might even switch them to a loose sand setup like the top ants. But there's my fire ants, and as you can see, they're feeding well. So let's move on swiftly. Here we go, my Camponotus species. Now, I must admit, big ants I really like. They're less active, they do much less, they're more lazy in a way, but they are really nice to observe. And as you can see, this the queen is inside the chamber. She changes chamber. They move around the nest, as you're well aware, when they're too hot, too cold, too humid, and the opposite. But it's really nice watching them navigate. And really cool about these are these only let out the oldest ants in the colony. So at the moment there's only 2 ants even allowed out in the Outworld. It's the same 2 every time, and no other ant will leave the nest at all, no matter what is going on. You can disturb them, tap, noise, whatever. Only 2 ants will ever leave the nest, and the rest, well, they're very laid back and hardly even bother. No movement to light or anything. Let's move down. Okay, so let's move on to my Mesa Barbarous colony. Now these guys were given the Eden Edition Outworld, just so I could see how it performed over time, how long did it stay clean, that sort of thing. And I give it to some relatively clean ants as well. Because of the nature of a seed-eating, the Mesa genus, they are quite clean, but I still wanted to see how it stood up over time. So I will bring you an update on when enough time has passed and what I think of the pre-decorated Outworlds. So let's move on. Here we go. Here's another Camponotus species, but this is the Nicobarensis colony. I hope I've pronounced that right. Anyway, they're doing extremely well and growth has skyrocketed. They have gone from a small colony to a very big colony. They've gone from 6 or 7 workers in the Outworld at any one time to about 30 to 40 workers in the Outworld at any one time, and the nest is consistently full. They've gone from occupying 4 chambers to 6 chambers of this size 8 nest, but they also have converted one of the chambers into a dumping ground. Now I am hoping that as they grow, they will need the space in that chamber, and most ants will clear it out and move in. I'm hoping they're going to take care of that mess themselves. As for the Outworld, I upgraded them to a large Outworld. They were in a medium Outworld, and they were always trying to get out, non-stop. So I upgraded them to a large Outworld. It's quite large, quite a lot of space. And it meant I could also upgrade them to a large BYFORMICA liquid feeder, the huge one. And this has gone down very well because they drink a lot of liquid. I'm now using these little petri dishes as feeding dishes for all my ants' colonies as long as they fit. I find it much easier to take them out, run them through the dishwasher and do the food and take them back than any other sort of cleaning or method, or even smaller dishes. I just don't go around like that. I found that this is the cleanest method. Maybe not be the easiest, but it's certainly my favourite way of going about it. So guys, that's all the colonies that I currently have available for you to see and look at. There is more colonies coming, more reviews coming, and I have some ants coming for my latest Ants Russia nest. So stay tuned for that, and there will be a lot more things happening as we close in. Anyway guys, thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed the content.